YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and today we got some news for Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires, and it's some pretty exciting news. So again, the string continues of fun and exciting news for Warhammer 3, which is a great juxtaposition to the doom and gloom that we had all been feeling for the first few months after the game's launch. So I'm excited to bring this to you. Let's chat through it. First, I have to apologize that I get to these things late every day, but they forced me back into the office 5 days a week. There's no point for it. It wastes my time, and unfortunately for you all, that means that my videos can only be made after work and everything else. I've been going since 6:30 this morning. It's now 9:30 at night, and this is when I finally get to do some recording. So time is limited these days, but we'll make the most of it. So let's take a look at what they announced. They released this blog. You can check it out in the description. I'll have a link to it. It's called Immortal Empires Dedicated Factions. And CA Evangelos brings us some news in this, and within it we learn that basically there's going to be some changes coming. Some of the legendary lords in Immortal Empires shared factions and start positions, and that, of course, as we heard, is changing, and today they're happy to reveal some of these to us. And the first one's kind of a unique one, but it's a really cool announcement. Be'lakor is going to be a legendary lord that is playable. He is a demon of chaos for Chaos Undivided, and of course you can choose to serve specific gods to gain powers, or you can stay with the Undivided. But yes, Be'lakor is joining, and he's got his faction here, which is going to be pretty exciting. It says, and I'm going to read through this because I want you all to catch some of these specific words. It says, as an undivided demon prince, Be'lakor kneels to no specific god. Instead, he leverages the power of all four to become a versatile fighting machine bestowed with powerful gifts from each. Those of you who have conquered the Realm of Chaos campaign will already know that he is a behemoth on the battlefield, capable of taking on almost any challenger. He's particularly unique amongst the warriors of Chaos legendary lords in that he has access to the widest selection of Chaos demons, allowing him to assemble entire armies of demonic might without the need for petty mortals. So that already tells you that he's going to be a little bit different than the other Chaos faction because he's going to be demon heavy. But let's take a look at where he starts. It says he begins in a settlement on the Isle of Wight in Albion. So if Rakarth still starts there, then boy, Rakarth is going to be out for a hunt early on. And he has these powers that it lays out for us. First is Unholy Manifestations. And basically it says each of Be'lakor's abilities is aligned with one of the four Chaos gods. It can be unlocked by defeating an army aligned with that god or through sacrificing souls. Now, sacrificing souls, they say here, is a new resource shared by all warriors of Chaos. So I guess this is also a bit of a sneak peek into what we're hoping is a giant rework for Chaos, right? So that's pretty cool to hear. It sounds like a new faction resource. It says they offer powerful and unique benefits. It says, for instance, the Zinchaline manifestation grants the ability to spawn a unique shadow rift that lets Be'lakor's forces teleport across the mortal plane. Be'lakor's shadow, basically this allows him to corrupt an individual that he's defeated in battle, a human lord. And as it slowly corrupts them, it turns them into a demon prince. I would hope this has limitations. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty insane if every single human lord you defeat in battle can be turned into a demon prince to serve you, because that's going to get crazy real fast. Chaos Gifts, says dedication to the dark gods or remaining undivided, is sacrosanct for the forces of Chaos. Their warriors are bestowed with unholy gifts. By offering defeated souls to the gods, they can unlock these gifts. So maybe is this similar in a way to the Beastmen, how they unlock things by gaining power as they go throughout the campaign? I don't know. Maybe. Now, we have other news for dedicated factions beyond Be'lakor, and Be'lakor is some cool news, because now you don't have to worry about the realms of chaos. You can actually be him or fight against him outside of that. Now, there are several legendary lords that did not have their own faction and start position. Volkmar the Grim is now going to be leading the Cult of Sigmar, and he's also not going to be doing the Elector Count mechanic, so he gets his own unique mechanic. So this is cool, because it's going to be a way to play the Empire, but gives you something different than the Electric Counts. I love having new ways to play the game. So basically, you're going to be out looking to seal away the abominable books of Nagash. And boy, this just seems like more hints to me that Nagash might find his way into the game at some point. He resides in the Southlands, and it says, unlike the Tomb Kings and Manfred, it's not the books that offer him power, but rather sealing them away increases his zeal and gives strength and boons. So that's really cool. Now, the next one I'm super excited about, because Grombrindle is one of my favorite campaigns out of all the legendary lords in Total War Warhammer. So he's going to be leading a new faction called the Ancestral Throng. And you see, Grombrindle is kind of mad about Malekith having kicked off the War of the Beards. and he's moved to Naggaroth, and he's going to settle some grudges, folks. So this is going to be an exciting start. Gromby starting off near Naggaron, getting revenge against the Witch King. Helman Ghorst, the ghost with the most, is going to be leading the Caravan of Blue Roses. It says, ever clinging to the hope of discovering necromancies that could bring his brothers back to life. Helman Ghorst has moved eastwards in order to be closer to the coveted Nagashir fortress. So this is cool. We're going to have another vampire start that will be interesting. Also, we learned that Vlad and Isabella von Karstein are still going to start in Sylvania, so they're going to be taking over Sylvania, it sounds like. And unlike other legendary lords, it says this couple stays together. When you pick one to be your legendary lord, the other becomes a legendary hero. So if you pick Isabella to be your legendary lord, Vlad is the hero, and then vice versa. So that'll be a really cool faction mechanic, and it's because they're supposed to support each other within combat. That was always an ability that they had that never really could be taken advantage of properly, except in the odd sense that you got to reinforce them on the battlefield. Now, Sigvald the Magnificent is going to be picking up his own faction, which is the Decadent Host. He's going to be getting some Slaanesh benefits, like being able to seduce units. And he even has these tantalizing new features where he can charm people with his beauty. Use that seductive influence, and he's got access to Slaanesh's demonic breed. So this ought to be really cool. Nice faction banner there for Sigvald, too. I really like that one. Kholek Suneater is going to be leading the Heralds of the Tempest. It says the ancient dragon ogre now resides in the Mountain of Morn, keen to seek out a monolithic settlement for his own dark designs. Now, can you all help me for a minute? Was Kholek ever kind of like, you know how like Sigvald is kind of a Slaanesh, version of Chaos? Was Kholek one of them? I don't know. I don't know the lore very much, and I'm curious because it says that he's out to seek a monolithic settlement of his own dark designs. I wonder what this means. Is he going to play differently? Almost kind of sounds like it, but I'm curious what you all know about that. Unfortunately, I just don't know the lore behind him. I may have to go try and read up on it. But, folks, this is great news. This is good news because we continue to see that Immortal Empires is not just going to be some copy-paste rehash of what we had in Mortal Empires. It is its own thing. It's looking rather huge and rather exciting, and CA continues to add new features to it. Now, there was new and exciting things in Warhammer 3 with tons of new features, and many of those features are great. We're glad to have them, and the launch of the game still fell flat on its face, so take all this with a grain of salt. I think this is a good sign. I think things are headed in the right direction, but I think that we all have no guarantee that this is going to be awesome, but this lends me towards optimism. This continued news like this and seeing all the detail that CA is putting into this definitely lends me to optimism, and I'm excited. You all tell me what you think down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you soon with some more news for Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires.